This is the Secure Podcast, your podcast for all things love,
family,
entrepreneurship,
and the life that happens in between.
Hello there, G Tribe. I am Dr. Denitra Griffin.
I am John Griffin Jr.
And welcome to Secure Podcast. So we have really been spending a lot of time in this season talking about wealth building, passing it on to our children, and how networking plays a role into this. But today we want to talk about mentorship, the stages of mentorship, and what that means, the value. We want to discuss the value of mentorship as it relates to love, family, and entrepreneurship. And I know particularly for you, John, you probably have a perspective about mentorship with spirituality. So
Absolutely.
We don't want to forget that as well. But, standard procedure, protocol. Give me my quote.
So the quote of the day, G Tribe, is 3 words. Do for self.
Do for self. Do for self or do?
Do for self.
Okay.
Elijah Muhammad taught us to do for self.
Do for yourself.
Do for yourself.
Okay. So what, tell me, what? Come on, break that down.
I think that having a profession, having a job is honorable. Hard work is honorable. But I do think as you teach our children, Dr. Griffin, what's your hustle? Do something for yourself, because any given day, someone can control your destiny. Someone can tell you, when you take vacations, when you eat, when you leave. And sometimes you get a little tired of that. And if you have a hustle and you're doing something for yourself, even if you have an employer, doing something for yourself is advantageous for your growth and development.
Yeah. What about those individuals that are okay with doing 8 and hit the gate, right?
Absolutely, it's good. I still think they should do something. Maybe be on the side. They're a mechanic. They do parties. They do content house. They do something that they're doing for themselves to leave something else for their families or themselves.
Right. And so is that advice that you give people that kind of rely on you as a mentor?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. That leads us right into our content for today.
Let's go, G-Chop. Let's get into it.
So mentorship, right? We know that mentorship is important. We know that we've benefited from it. And so as we talk about the stages of mentorship, John and I today will discuss or describe our experiences as mentees, our experience as mentors.
Right.
And as we embark on this kind of last phase, because we're still mentors, but we still seek mentorship or guidance, and we will call that stage kind of thought partners or consultants.
Right.
So we
consultants.
And so when we kind of reflect on our experience as mentees, completing or going through undergraduate studies and graduating from college, how did you define mentorship back then?
Well, for me, it was looking for someone who had that experience that I needed to garner information to be a better person, a better man, and a better husband, a better father, a better worker, or a better business owner, whatever phase of my life, my spiritual life. So that person would be a senior person, because there's something advantageous about an older mentor.
Yeah.
I always say to you that my dad never owned a home. He never owned a business. But my dad is 71 years old, and he's able to teach me today about business, because there's something about that senior living, that older individual.
Yeah, just
life experiences.
I was about to say, just life experiences
absolutely.
are their best teachers. And I think there's this quote that we heard from one of our colleagues that said, when you go into a situation and you don't get what you want, the best gift that you come out with is experience.
That's right.
And so
Guy Summers.
Well, I heard it was for Elder Tyler.
Yeah, Guy Summers said that to me before.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
he's my business coach.
Yeah, so they're in the same age bracket? And
the same, 65.
they're in the same age bracket. And
Right.
so that was one of the, the tips that they provided us.
Right.
So even as you think about using your dad as an example, he's been married for a very long time.
I think almost 50 years.
Almost 50
So
years.
that's a mentor.
That's a mentor.
So he told me the other day, when your wife cut up, just put some blessed oil in her shoe. He said, he got some blessed oil. He said, here you go, use this. And she cut up, put it in her shoe. And I said, Daddy, she got a lot of shoes. They put it in all of it. He said, because they cut up all the time.
Oh my goodness.
I'm going to do it though.
Right. So I think for me, when I define mentor from a mentee's perspective, so I'm kind of going back when I was 18 or 19 years old. So I was looking for people just at that age. You just kind of want people to tell you what to do.
Right.
You just, instead of just trying to figure it out, I just need somebody to tell me what to do.
Remember Bruce Jackson was our attorney. He's always saying, I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm just going to give you some options. Mm-hmm. I just get so angry. Like, just tell me which way to go. He's saying,
tell me what to do.
I'll just give you some options.
Yeah.
He'd give me options, and that what he would just tell me.
But as I grew, I learned that a mentor just really asks the right questions. Like, I think that because a mentee owns the process if they're able to evolve to the solution. So as a mentee, although I was looking for someone just to say, I'm very linear, so just tell me what steps to follow, I would find myself in situations where people would just kind of ask questions, and it would evolve to a level of understanding where I can make the choices, the right choices. And whether that was marriage, whether that was my career, and those early ages, we weren't entrepreneurs.
Right.
But yeah, that's how I kind of envisioned.
But see, men are not that smart. So I'm not linear. I'm all over the place. So I'm circular, I'm horizontal. So things are not that linear for me. So when my old mentor used to give me those options, they both were very plausible. Mm-hmm. So unlike you, being a woman who's have mother wit and smart, you're able to say, so it's different with men.
Gotcha.
We're not that linear in our thinking.
So when we go back to being a mentee, how did you pick your mentors, or did your mentor pick you?
Your mentor supposed to pick you, but I picked all my mentors. I was like, you're going to be my friend, not your line. Yeah. I was like, you're going to be my mentor. You're going to be my, the person that's going to teach me about Islam. You're going to be the person that's teaching me about how to become a better father or a better husband. And they just obliged and shook their head and okay.
I would say for me, it wasn't that formal. Like as a mentee, I would just connect myself with people that I felt that I can learn from. And it wasn't anything formal for me. It wasn't, a question of, can you be my mentor? It could have been merely, just asking questions.
Correct.
Setting time aside, asking questions. How do you do this? What did you do if this happened? How do you manage this? Back then, I think a lot of my focus was, being a mom. And so learning from other mothers, women who appeared to me that they've mothered well.
Right.
And so it wasn't like a formal request. It was just associating myself with different people and asking questions. It wasn't like, okay, let's meet each quarter, let's have tea, let's have lunch. It was just like, hey, I got a question. How did you handle this? I have a question. How did you get all your kids ready for school?
Yeah. So with me, it's actually, I would just be inseparable with my mentors. You remember, whether it's with brothers who were studying Islam with me, studying Honorable Elijah Muhammad's teachings, And then I used to hang with Bruce Jackson a lot when I started to grow the business, and I needed help in understanding the legalities of a business. It was things, people like that, and I just be inseparable. I would call them all the time, and I didn't just say you're my mentor, but they knew. They were older guys. They understood, and they obliged me for the most part.
I remember you asking him to be your mentor.
No, that was Steve Davis of the Will Group, who told me I will not be your mentor, but I'll be your friend. I'm like, what the?
What's the difference?
What's the difference? He just smiled. To this day, he don't tell me. I'm like, Steve, you gonna mentor me? You're like, man, I'm your friend.
Yeah, because I think with
I don't know what that means. Even today, I'm like,
well, probably with mentoring, it's a different level of commitment. A friend, I can kind of ask questions and be available or not, as a mentor.
I'd rather have a mentor. Forget a friend. Hook me up. Give me the juice. Let me know what's up. What's going on. I get my own friends. No, but those were the things that I did as a mentee. And as you stated earlier, Dr. Griffin, my mentors are basically spiritual brothers. And I think that
how did that transfer over to marriage, though?
If you remember in our first podcast, I said that my faith informs my decisions, informs when we named our company AGB, it informs everything I do in life, my faith. Yeah. So I'm not a Muslim on accident, a Muslim on purpose. No one, I didn't grow up hearing Adhan in my ear. I chose this expression of faith, and based on my mentor teaching me, I understand what it meant to be a righteous man. Well, none of us are righteous, but men who are trying to walk that path. And it aligns to who I am as a person. I'm a big pussycat, Everybody push over me on the company, you bully me. So that's just how it is.
I bully you?
Man, you bully me. Man.
Oh, okay. So you finally figured that out, huh?
She bullied me all the time. She tried, but you know what? It's cool.
I gotta change my script now. You want to me. But for me, when we think about as a mentee, I used to also kind of associate myself with older women. So I would have older women as friends, and talk about marriage, talk about being a mother, being a career woman.
Yes.
And as I grew in my profession, just really relied on older women to help me perfect my craft. And I think, I would say, not that I think, I would say, as a result of getting that coaching and mentorship as a mentee, as a career woman, and really learning and studying how to be a leader and look at leaders and how they interact and engage with their constituents, helped me be the type of leader I am.
I would say so. So.
And so even to the extent of, and sometimes as a mentee, when you're being coached and mentored, you don't realize that that person is serving as a mentor. And I can give you an example. When I was, I talked about in the first podcast how it took me 10 years, a 10-year sprint to complete my undergraduate degree. I completed 3.5 years on the front end, had children, married, and then finished up the last 1.5 years, and that was all done within a 10-year stint. In between those 10 years, I worked full-time. I was a mom full-time. I think I had two kids at the time. A mom full-time, worked full-time, and went to school full-time. So in my profession, I remember when email was kind of new on the landscape. And so I used to just be super dignified. My perception of being professional was being very stoic, very specific, straight to the point, very rigid. And I sent an email out about tuition reimbursement. And, was a little snappy in the email. And then one of the older women at the job said, no, 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 no. That's not how we do things. And so you need to revisit that email and soften your tone because you can still get your message across without being so curt and specific. And so I didn't consider her at that time as a mentor or a coach, but that's what she was giving me.
That's right.
That's what she was giving me. And so sometimes as a mentee, I would suggest, be open to those critiques because many people are not coaching you just to be critical, but it's coaching you to be better.
Yeah.
And so there may not be a claim of I'm your mentor, you're the mentee, but be open to listening to those critiques because it is an informal way of mentoring. Have you had similar experiences? How have your email writing been? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. Ron Pluta.
Mm-hmm.
When I was a Cook County State Attorney investigator, Ron Pluta was a 70-year-old Caucasian male.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I was a young whippersnapper, and I would do many things wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And he would tell me, that's not the way you get things done.
Yeah.
He said, he used the old adage, you can attract more bees with honey, John, than with vinegar.
Yeah.
He said, when you do your reporting, you're reporting out on cases you're working on, on things you're doing, there's a way to do things
That's right.
that won't shine light because people will whip you.
Yeah.
They would say, okay, you want to be, you. So
then you out of your league.
Then you out of your league. Then I'm wondering, why everybody do me like that?
Right.
Because you trying to be snappy. So he taught me that. And so it's Willie Anderson, God rest his soul, my old sergeant in the State Attorney's Office. He also taught me a lot.
Yeah.
He would say, John, you have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
He said, you can do anything you want to do. He said, just make it.
Yeah.
And then you can do what you want to do.
Yeah.
You know, I was always, when you work in corporate America or in law enforcement, oftentimes your dignity is challenged when you're a black male. Mm-hmm. And I had a very, your husband's tongue is, and I'd be like, what? I just didn't play it. And that aided to my stagnation in my career. And I'm sure a lot of black men can attest to that in corporate America or in law enforcement. And Willie would tell me, you have to do it this way.
Yeah.
You have to move like this. And I never accepted that.
Yeah.
But as a 51-year-old black male, I can smile and say that. You're right. But I can tell my boys, you ain't got to do that because Daddy built this for you. You ain't got to stretch when you don't itch, and you ain't got to hold your tongue when you write. So, but thank God for his mentorship.
Yeah.
Thank God.
And it sounds like for both of us, as we were growing, like there was never kind of a mentor-mentee definition back then. It was just really more senior people taking interest in your growth and development.
Yes.
And both of us being receptive to those critiques and changing. So once you receive the critique from your quote-unquote mentor, then you need to change. And for me, and it's funny because I look at individuals now, because for women, sometimes we think in order to get things done, you have to be hard, sharp, quick tongue, snappy. And I understand that because I was there, like I get it. So you're trying to prove that you're capable. You're trying to prove that you have the skill set. You're trying to prove that you have this higher level vocabulary that you can use against people. So I get it. But what I've learned and have received from my coaching, it ain't necessary. Young lady, calm down. Would you calm down? But I get it. And through my coaching, through my development, and through my personal growth, I learned that that's not necessary. And so what that has done for me is even in a marriage, I don't have to fight with my husband. I don't have to fight with you.
Yeah, because she just bullied me.
Right, I'm like,
she tell me what to do and I don't do it, then it's going up. The deck going up, so you bullying. So that's not fair.
Yeah,
don't use that. Don't use that. Use another one. Don't use
yeah,
that.
Just bully him.
Be like, what?
But you can still relay the same message in the most effective way without being curt, without being disrespectful, without being mean. You can still get that same message across. And something that I do, even in the business and even with our children, when my voice gets really soft and I'm talking at a slower pace, then everybody in the room knows it's a problem. And that's just a strategy that I use to calm myself down. But I was taught that. So I don't resort back to the mentee stage. But I think as we talk about mentorship and coaching, it would be shameful for me not to mention the kind of quasi-mentees that we get through the work that we do at the foundation, and is for the experiences that you and I have received as African-American women and men, that we see value in it. And so when we look at our young people that come spend the summer with us, where we're
phenomenal people.
They're so
These
wonderful.
People are so head and shoulders where we were.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. They're amazing. And we look at them as little Johns and little Denitras. And so the staff in the office really take ownership in coaching and mentoring them so that they have exposure and access to what it means to work in a business, what it means to have a business, and what it takes for each individual senior executive to run their departments successfully. And then we extended a little bit further with our scholarships. Not only do we give our young people who are graduating from high school scholarship dollars to help defer some of the economic costs, we also stay connected with them throughout the year and really help with their social emotional growth and awareness. And so I would say, I want to say either 99 or 100% of our participants have seen value in how we support them socially and emotionally while they're in school.
What a blessing. What a blessing.
Because it's important. And that's what mentorship is about. Now, I'm certain as a result of all the young people that have been under our preview, we've found that some of them call us their mentors out in the...
They call me daddy. Like, Dad, can you come down to Parents' Day? I'm like, what?
Yes. We even asked to go down to Parents' Weekend.
Day? Yeah, come on, Parents. What? I'm not... What? Where's your parent? But no, I'm telling you, but there's no greater feeling than giving back by mentorship.
Yeah.
No greater feeling.
Yeah.
And you cannot outgive God.
You cannot.
The more you give of yourself, your time, your treasure, God's going to magnify that.
That's right.
G-Tribe, I bear witness. Oftentimes, it sounds cliches. It may sound spiritual or religious, but the only way you make it, the only way is giving of yourself unselfishly and wanting to truly see people be successful, because you play a part in their success.
Yeah.
So my mentees, that's
reward.
Powerful.
That's the biggest reward.
That's powerful.
That's the biggest reward, is seeing other people grow.
Man, it's a blessing.
Yeah, it's a treat to see. And that leads us into the next phase, which is the mentors. And so we've experienced, significant growth and development out of those kind of informal mentorship relationship. And it was like one day I was like, man, I need a mentor. I was just thinking to myself, like, I need a mentor. And I said, well, wait. I said, where are the parents? Where are the mentors? That's it. The cavalry ain't coming no more.
My pops, Dr. Aladdin Shabazz, who's been one of my greatest mentors ever, taught me that Malcolm X said this. Mm-hmm. He said, when a student is ready, the teacher will appear.
Yeah.
When a student is ready, the teacher will appear. Those are the mentors in your life when you're ready. I believe, again, I'm going spiritual, G-Tribe. I know y'all like this dude. I'm not a pastor, but I'm telling you, when you're ready for a certain phase in your life, and you need somebody to get you to the next level of understanding, whether it be in business, in spirituality, in relationships, someone's going to appear in your life and say, you need to go this way, give you options. And by giving you options, which person, area to choose to go to. But my pops taught me, Dr. Aloysius Shabazz taught me that being a mentor and being a Muslim are not mutually exclusive. They're not. They're one and the same. And he also taught me that, do you have enough money in a bank of manhood to be a mentor? Because it takes you to have hard conversations, to be truthful, and to be sometimes very stoic. Because sometimes you got to whoop your mentees, you know. And if you didn't have that moxie, and then you can't be a mentor, an effective mentor.
Yeah, I agree. You have to be able to position yourself to have the hard conversations, and I think that when we talk about being the mentor, I think that needs to be kind of identified up front. But what you and I have both experienced, folks just don't ask no more. They just kind of tell you that.
I have 2,350 mentees. I don't know how. I'm like, what?
No. How about this?
I'm like, what?
How about this? Not just mentees, not just mentees, but I have become godmamas of kids. I said, well, wait a minute. Wait.
I need you to come to my christening. I'm like, do I know you? Like, what?
I'm like, wait. John and I had to say, like, no more God babies. That is a wrap. That's it. That's it. But it's so funny. The generation that's coming up,
they bold.
They are so bold. Like, you will just talk to them, and then next time you being introduced, I want you to meet my mentor. I'm like, oh, okay, yes. Hi.
I mean, I got people, you know, but my newest mentee, Sean Gilmore, he's my barber. He is a phenomenal young man. And he just told me, cut my hair in the chair, shave my bald heads. Listen, you're going to be my mentor, man. You know?
See what I'm saying?
And
they
I was like, okay, because he's a good young man.
Yeah.
He's been in my home, and I like doing that because even in my fraternity, I have a lot of brothers younger than me, younger than me in the frat, but not younger than me in age, that I mentor.
Yeah.
An alpha.
Yeah.
How to be an effective alpha man. It's experience, you know. Yeah. So those are good examples. But I love being a mentor because I own a piece of their successes, and I see them, and I see myself in them always, you know.
Yeah.
My
well,
some of my mentees are like my sons.
Yeah,
you know?
I just enjoy sharing the information. It does me no good if I just hold it and keep it with myself. So the intent to learn is to teach.
You're a natural teacher, though, Dr. Griffin. You're a natural, though. G-Tribe, she has an uncanny way of making something very difficult plain. That is phenomenal. That's her gift from God, and it can be very convoluted, and she can make it plain. That's your gift.
Thank you. But and it's beneficial, I would say, across spectrum. So when we look at marriage, when we look at family, and we look at entrepreneurship.
But we don't have it all figured out. People think that your marriage is, hashtag marriage goals, but it take work.
It does.
You know, I think we have a phenomenal marriage.
I do too.
I think that I believe the Proverbs said, "Ye find us a good wife, find a good thing."
Yeah.
I don't say nothing about husband though.
I don't know. I'm just saying. That's what the words say.
But the Quran says your spouse and your children will be a trial for you.
Yes.
And I think that trial is as you grow as a person.
Yes.
And you continue to change, because the John Griffin Jr. from 25 is different from John Griffin Jr. from 45.
Yeah.
So the ability to have to grow, and then still find out who I am, and then stay married and be in love with the woman of my life, my pulse, as she grow, and G-Tribe women, y'all change every 3 years, something different. So
daily, actually.
So to be able to calibrate and keep calibrating and keep calibrating and still making it It's phenomenal.
But one thing that is an advantage to both of us is, A, we recognize that we do not have it all figured out.
That's right.
And B, the desire and the commitment to continue to try to figure it out.
That is very important, G-Tribe, that I talked to our daughter, our youngest girl who's in Spelman, who's doing very well, by the way. My wife and I had a heart-to-heart with her. And we, just to give you the genesis, we told her that as a woman, a black woman, you have to be decisive about something. You can't
waver about everything.
Everything can't be out.
I don't know what it takes.
I don't know what it takes. We like, listen.
First
And
of all,
then-
I was like, I'm tired of hearing this.
And then you gave her a lesson on slavery.
Absolutely.
And I showed her a synopsis of what her ancestors went through. And you said, do you think they said they didn't have what it takes? You said, give me a break. And you said you have everything. Everything. And then I pulled up on Facebook. Read this, read this. But being decisive. So as a mentor, you have to teach your mentees to be decisive.
Take the shot.
Take the shot.
Take the shot.
You're gonna, and look.
And I'm
I'll
here.
tell you, boy.
Right, I challenge them. Take the shot. And then it's how you respond to the shot.
That's right.
And that's what I'm here for.
That's right.
But take the shot.
Take the shot.
Take the shot.
I'm gonna get a shirt that say take the shot.
Take the shot.
I'm gonna get one
Take
made.
the doggone
I'm gonna get a
shot.
shirt made to take the shot. Hey, don't y'all steal that. Okay, G-Tribe, I'm gonna get it. Soon I leave here, I'm gonna say take the
doggone
shot.
shot.
Take the shot,
Absolutely.
So I like that. I like that, G.
So because of our commitment to
We owe.
Absolutely.
We owe.
Absolutely. I think we've been consistent in stating that. But with our commitment to acknowledging that we don't have it all figured out and we still need to grow ourselves and each other, and as our spiritual growth runs parallel to our professional
Yes.
professional growth. And
Yes.
so as you continue to grow with your understanding of God and his place with you, then it definitely helps you to grow professionally
Every year.
and personally.
Every year, as a Muslim, I have Ramadan. And I fast and I contemplate on God's lessons and read the Quran and just learn more and more about myself. But the more and more I learn about myself, and it's a new revelation, I learned you're already there. I'm like, she's already there. You're like, I've been there
Like
for
that was
35.
2019.
But I'm telling you, mentorship is, it's beautiful.
Right. So at this age, we're still growing. We're still learning.
Yes.
We have a lot to offer and give to others,
Yes.
but there's still so much more for us to learn.
Absolutely.
And so in that stage of mentorship, you kind of don't use the word mentor, right? So you typically look for thought partners or consultants.
Yep.
And so how do you, kind of talk about how you establish those type of relationships to get that, those thought partners or those consultants?
The best way to do that is to be around people of like circumstances. For me, it was Goldman Sachs. For business, for example, in business. Goldman Sachs, 10,000 small business. I've was able to take a lot of good people from that organization that had the same issues we had: unemployment, taxes, stress, dealing with making payrolls. And we were able to have a relationship to talk about how did you do this and how did you go? These became thought partners. Well, I did this. Who's your attorney? Who's your accountant? How did you get past this situation? And as God has allowed us to become bigger, more people have been coming on to me, asking me how I overcome this and this and this. So I'm looking for other people who has been where I've been, and I can talk to them and say, well, how did you get to get through this? So I'm waiting for the teacher to appear, if you will.
Yeah. So do you just sit there and wait?
No. Your husband?
Come on.
Your husband, John Griffin Jr.
Talk to the people.
Wait.
Talk to the people.
Me? Wait, please. I can't sit still. You told me before we start recordings. Sit down. Sit down. True story, G-Tribe. I gotta sit. Look, if she get in the bed, she be like, young man, come sit down. Why you getting up? I said, I gotta go pee. So I don't sit still. No way. I don't sit still. I'm constantly,
But explain that, because we don't want the listeners to misunderstand and think, sit and wait until the teacher appear.
No.
So what does that mean?
I don't want them to confuse activity with accomplishment. Mm-hmm. So although I am seeking more help to understanding how to get to the next level of our business as the CEO, AGB, co-owner, I am still developing myself. I'm still reaching out, turning over every rock. I'm still reaching out and doing networking, last podcast. I'm still trying to ascertain and develop new relationships. So I'm still making my blows straight. I'm still moving forward, regardless of what I might be lacking or the perceived lackness. I'm still moving forward. I'm not just, I'm actually moving forward, thinking about, okay, what should I do next?
Right.
Or how should I do this? Or and then you and I are our own thought partners.
Yeah.
So I'm moving forward.
I think that's a good point that you just brought up on how we do bounce ideas off of each other, because there is the recognition that you're stronger in certain areas and I'm stronger in other areas.
Right.
And, we bounce ideas off each other. As it relates to me, being a female and president of AGB, as well as kind of oversee the direction of the Institute and the foundation, I identify, what do I want to learn more of? What do I need to know more about?
Right.
And so I really do take the time so that I can make sure that my time is intentionally spent where it needs to be. Because I just don't want to be wasteful, and I don't want to offend anybody else's time. People are busy. And I was at a lunch yesterday, and as we were talking, so, someone who I'm bouncing ideas off of, and she was just like, oh, okay, do you have a list? And I was like, actually, in fact, I do have a list. And so we just kind of went through what I wanted to talk to her about. And I mean, it was just so productive. And I think people have appreciation and value, because there's a respect of time, there's a respect of experience, and so we're kind of just knocking it off the list. But it had to get to that point. So it was the cultivation of the relationship that happened informally, maybe over coffee, just getting to know each other, in order for us to get to that place to be able to do that. So for me, as it relates to business, as it relates to family, particularly for us, I am an advocate of couples. I don't think we see enough people extolling Black family units.
And thus the podcast.
Thus the couples kickback that's happening for the Super Bowl. Like, I am intentional about bringing Black couples together so that individuals can strengthen their marriages.
And we're going to have a Black couples kickback when we get our last son out the house.
When that last
we're going to be like, let's go, let's turn up. Pool party at the Griffis.
He leaves.
We going to turn up.
As a celebration for the work that
parents have done, getting their children out.
And getting their kids to college.
Jabril's our last one.
The last one. But again, just the intent of bringing, couples together to be able to have thought partners and consult. Because what you'll find is, some couple may be good at doing this. They may have a business. They may have a service. They may have a product.
Yeah.
They may have traveled to certain places that you want to experience. But I just think that, you spend your time in being deliberate and intentional about what you're looking for.
Yes.
And then look for those thought partners.
Yes.
And establish those relationships.
Agreed, Dr. Griffin. Agreed.
Okay, so you're learning even more to agree consistently. Very good. That's a skill, people. That's a skill. So
You know, I stay married, G-Tribe. G-Tribe, you want to stay married? Yes, dear.
absolutely, absolutely. So take us back to our three-word quote.
Do for self. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us to do for self.
Do for self, people. Do for self. And that's do for yourself as a mentee. Make sure you do for yourself as a mentor.
Absolutely.
Do for yourself, and even as a consultant or thought partner. Do for yourself. Thank you so much for listening to us today. Don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube at Secure Podcast. Follow us on Instagram at Secure Podcast. Follow us on Facebook. And by all means, put comments there. Email us if you don't want anyone to see your comments at securepodcast@agbfd.org. Thank you, G-Tribe.
Thank you, G-Tribe. Until next time.